going as far as to label my wife, who is in an interracial relationship with me, a neo-Nazi. In fact, I found out that...
Did you really just refuse to draw the trans person as the hypersexualized anime character they see in their head? Because amateur racists suggest the existence of professional racists. Can Mutahar get a new f***ing chair? He must be making money hand over fist. Was he first sending it all back to Indian and dowry or something? Buy a new chair, bro! Why is it so squeaky? So yeah, anyway, just a little, little update on this. The main reason I'm talking about this, though, of course, is because Mutahar just released a video responding to the criticisms, which we're going to watch now. But the main aspect for me here is just how it's not shocking. It is obvious at this point, but it's just so funny to me that they are so fucking desperate to talk about anything whatsoever they possibly can, other than the video, the claims. It's about the thumbnail. It's about Mutahar's wife for some reason. It's about weird race analysis, which I think Mutahar gets into. Crazy. Anyway, let's see what the let's see what he's got to say for himself.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mutahar. I don't know if I'm debating around the idea of Asmongolding the title. Ooh, I've been cancelled. But to be real with you, ladies and gentlemen, today I wanted to do a little bit of a debrief on one of the more controversial videos I uploaded in my entire...
That's the other thing that I've seen. People complaining about the title of this video. Oh, he's done a title. I got cancelled. Yeah, obviously there's a little bit of clickbait happening there, okay? I think we can all accept that Mutahar is not actually fully cancelled by this. But, it's obviously alluding or referencing the fact that he has received a lot of undue, unreasonable criticism for this video. Entire
career on this channel. Now, some of you know, 5 days ago, I uploaded a video talking about an internet person known as Keffals, where I looked into their history and looked into a lot of the shady history, and it was about an hour and 33 minutes of actual, looking into a past, gathering all of the receipts, and putting it together in a concise video. Something I will say I enjoyed really putting together, okay? I love making long-form videos like that, in amongst the daily goofs and the gaffes that we have over here, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, since then, I have uploaded the video, and it's done pretty positively. It's got around, I think, 95.9% likes to dislike, the ratio itself, which compared to my average...
Stylo, true. Can we be frank? It's good shit that Muta didn't buckle and change the thumbnail. It'd be so easy to fold on that. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. I think Mutahar's performed at a very, as Josh said, at a very high level in this. Because he could have just gone, he could have cucked to the pressure and been like, guys, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize he was a big, bad, nasty man before. And, oh, yeah, it does look a bit bad, so I'm going to change the thumbnail. He just is keeping it. And this, clearly, in this response, I'm presuming he's saying that he's not going to, well, I would imagine that he's not planning on changing it. Otherwise, he wouldn't make a video, presumably defending the thumbnail.
Of 98% shows that even with the controversy, a grand majority of the people watching on my channel really did enjoy it. And it's one of the...
And the thing is as well, and this is, I wanted to make this point about the Wikipedia thing, but I forgot, right? Keffals, in 2022, had a bunch of people who were willing to go to bat for her, right? To the point where, was it Destiny's Wikipedia page? I think that some of Keffals' fans were trying to change, and there was an entire editing war that was happening over Destiny's Wikipedia page. But now, it doesn't really seem like they've got any allies left, because it's been a couple of days and there's no Keffals allies that are going and changing the Wikipedia entry. And I think if this was a couple of years ago, I think you would have seen more of a battle or more of a war. And I think that you would have had Keffals fans that would have kind of gone and tried to change the reference and change it over and stuff. So I think that, again, is another sign of just how, much Keffals has kind of fallen from grace. And this is the kind of, I think, final nail in the coffin,
Those types of videos that I like to make. Now, to understand, I make videos on tons of controversial subjects all the time. And in fact, some of my most favorite videos were videos where I made them on Save the Kids, alongside Coffee Solo, the whole Rubets investigation, working on The Completionist, with Karl Jobst. And then, of course, doing this. I love covering this kind of stuff because looking into these stories and actually making waves and what I believe is making a difference and informing individuals is something I like doing, okay? Now, since that video's release, there's been some criticism, and none of it surprisingly on the video's content of itself. In fact, ever since this video has come out, there's been a small but somewhat vocal minority of people that have come out and labeled me as a transphobic individual, going as far as to label my wife, who is in an interracial relationship with me, a neo-Nazi. In fact, I found out that...
Why do you have to say it like that, though? Come on, dude.
Because of me having an Indian past, I might be a little bit more Aryan than one would expect.
Bro, what the fuck, dude? What's this?
Me having an Indian past...
To all the idiots claiming a Nazi racist wouldn't be with an Indian person, there is a long-standing theme of white supremacists fetishizing interracial relationships. What? And the actual WW2 Nazis literally named the Indian people honorary Aryans because of their connection to the original real Aryan people and their opposition to the British Empire. What? What is this on? What are you on about? Opposition to the British Empire. We had those fucking people under our boots. Their position was useless. I don't know about this. I mean, you know, I'm not familiar with this personally. I don't think there's this, like, the idea that because even if this was true, the idea that modern day neo-Nazis and far-right people would fetishize Indians is absurd, right? On the totem pole of races, when it comes to current modern day fascist, neo-Nazi, far-right thought, Indians are quite below on the totem pole, okay? Right? Can we be fucking real for a second? Indians are seen as like the lowest of the low. They call them all sorts of names. They talk about how much grape there is in their fucking country and all that shit, right? If you wanted to point to anything they fetishize, it would probably be like Asians, like Chinese or whatever, you know? I genuinely do not think that modern day neo-Nazi far-right types are like super pro-Indian as this post is trying to fucking claim, dude. Yes, thank you, British Knight. British Knight with some historical facts, thank you. Indians operated the largest volunteer army on the side of the Allies during World War II. Yes, you know, the Indians were absolutely infatuated with us, okay? There was a lot of support for the British Empire in India. We made it that way. Boom! Take your fucking medicine, okay? So anyway, I feel like what's obviously happening here is this person is taking some sort of factoid or some shit they read somewhere or something, and they're trying to twist it to back up this idea that it makes total sense that a fucking far-right neo-Nazi would date an Indian person. What are you on about? You're full of it. At best, you might find them dating an Asian, like a Chinese or Japanese or Korean. Korean, I think Korean is probably Southern Korean is probably most realistic, okay? But yeah, it's fucking insane. Just because you want to try and back up this idea that Dojangles is like fucking far right. It's just ridiculous.
I might be a little bit more Aryan than one would expect. Now, I shouldn't have to preface this. Honestly, no creator should really have to go out and spell this out, but to anybody watching, I think all Nazism, I think all these kind of evil ideologies are bad, okay?
Okay, there, yes, based. Okay. Remember when I watched the Go Canary video and he was talking about the far, and I was like, oh no. I just personally find it a bit cringe. But, you know, I get it. It's obviously not for me. That part isn't for me. Let's put it that way, okay? Who that part is for are normies or middle of the road people, right? Who realize it's absurd and then hear Mutahar disavow it, and it's like, oh yeah, there we go. Look, he's disavowing it there, you know? So it's obvious he's not into it, right? But for me, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and assume that Mutahar just doesn't like Nazis, okay? To be clear.
Again, here's the wildest thing about this situation, okay? To think that I'm going to pander to a group of people that would call me a poo in the loo in any normal capacity is actually brain dead, okay? I have a lot more self-respect than doing that. Now, at the same time, anybody that's hitting
Oh
at
my
me with
god,
maybe,
dude.
ooh, Muda enjoys a little edgy joke here and there, I come from an old school 4chan era where, like, anything goes on certain sites on the internet. So if some of those jokes kind of come out and they may be a little bit crass, it's not coming from a place of hate. It's just because that's the era I'm from. And you know what? Over the last few years, I have genuinely tried to kind of correct myself to be a little more inclusive on this channel and so to speak. But anyways, to go back to like the whole idea of, Nazism and transphobia and all that, I think it's actually quite insulting. For anybody that would even claim on some of these boards, I remember when Muda used to read those creepypastas. That was in the Paleolithic era, dog, but thank you. But if you're one of those people who are like, I remember when he was on the deep web browsing, why can't we go back to some of that? Well, it's because over 200 episodes, you kind of tap out all the content you can. But if you were an active viewer, you would realize that anytime I came across, Nazi content or anything really evil, actual racist behavior, transphobic behavior, I would sit down and actually make fun of that behavior, okay? I would really actually make fun of evil ideologies like that, because I think you should make fun of ideologies like that and really let people know how stupid they are. But again, I'm kind of speaking to a group of people that I can never appease, so there's no real reason for me to go down in this regard. But I feel like it's important to mention why I am not any form of Nazi or transphobe or anything.
Because the thing is, the response to this from the lefties would just be, well, of course you're going to say that. I don't know what this game is. It looks like some weeb nonsense. But that's the thing for me is, obviously, of course, I find the Nazis bad stuff personally to be cringe. But like I say, this is just gesturing towards those people who, are a bit more middle ground, maybe, can then point to that and go, oh, well, look, he's obviously not fucking Nazi. You said it there. The lefties are never going to be placated. All they do is they listen to this and they go, oh, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? A Nazi's not going to admit they're a Nazi. He's a crypto-Nazi. He's a crypto-fascist, actually. That's what he is. He's hiding his views. He's got his mask on and stuff like that, Yeah, it's gesturing towards the retard, yeah, exactly.
Of that nature. I think all of that ideology is evil. And when it comes to my community, I welcome everyone. As long as you're not a criminal, a defrauder, a scammer, an actual like pile of garbage that is committing actual felonies and crimes, then, for the most part, I'm cool with people in my community interacting with each other, and I'll advocate and fight for anybody in my community that just wants to be. But yeah, I feel like hitting these things head on is important. I'd rather address this stuff instead of let it fester. Now, the other bit of
if you're looking for a bit of racism, you know where to come. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Don't worry, I've got your back, guys.
Controversy for me comes out from using an artist that apparently has been branded as transphobic. Now, the thumbnail for...
Here we go, guys. Now we're talking. Now this is what I'm interested in. What's he going to say? Fucking hell, dude. Here we go.
The video had me and the target, in this case Keffals, looking quite sweaty and disheveled and whatnot. Now, the reason for this art was I had simply commissioned an artist whose style I liked. If you look at an image of me that this person drew months ago, it looks like a character that's kind of like out of Hotline Miami. You can kind of see it in the conversation box. Thought it was cool. This artist has covered numerous people, and it was just recommended to me by Tom, Willie Mac, and people, who he worked for. So I had paid him about $100, just a little commission work. The guy's return was pretty quick. We're talking like 24 to 48 hours, and that was pretty much the end of that. The conversation we had was pretty brief. I asked him just to make me a piece of this individual, and that's pretty much the end of it. Now, the people who were zooming into every single aspect of this art, trying to find elements of transphobic caricatures, which is literally a term that was used, is a little bit more self-reporting on these individuals, considering that and from my personal, conversations, had no actual intention of anything. This person drew me for Christ's sake, and I liked it enough to hire him on to draw an artist. Now, obviously, some would say, why would you draw the subject of your critical piece on them in an unflattering light? Dog, am I going to dig out fucking Michelangelo and resurrect him to make everyone look good? Get out of here. Now, this is somebody that I would have absolutely...
Yeah, no, this is, This is a really solid response. Just not getting into all the fucking intricacies of the bullshit. Just being like, very simply, I like the guy. I liked his art. He was recommended to me. I paid him a bit of money. He made me an image. There we go. Boom. Simple. Job done, Yeah, no, good response. Good response. I was actually wondering if Mutahar might, bow to the woke pressure. But I do think there has been this kind of pushback now, and I think that, you know, you can just tell these people to get fucked. I mean, the like ratio says it all. These people are ever more in the minority now. These people that moan and complain about this stuff. And I think that there is a bit more of a clapback now, and people are kind of saying, nah, fuck off. We're not going to take this shit. Like, shut up. You know? It's over. The trans... the trans terror is over. Where's that Creeman tweet? Where's that fucking Creeman tweet? I keep thinking about that Creeman tweet, dude. It's so good, man. Let me find it real quick. It's so good, dude. Look at this, man. Did you really just refuse to draw the trans person as the hypersexualized anime character they see in their head?
That's wonderful.
Is it not exactly this?
Off depressed people.
Thank you for the $2. It is exactly this. 100% this is what it is. You're not drawing them how they see themselves. Well, tough shit. Tough fucking shit. It is what it is. I can't wait for Chud to look like this. It's not going to be long. That does look like a woman to me. I agree as well. I agree.
Gotten into the future would have absolutely contracted again, but because of the actual like harassment they had received on the internet, they privated their accounts and from my understanding are receding from the art world, which is a pretty sad element and something that, you know, it's actually a net loss in this grand scheme of things. Now,
to be honest with you, I was a bit like on the fence about it. You know, I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I know, I kind of think he should have defended himself. I kind of see this. I think I've changed my mind on it, and I think that, you know, I think that Just a Worm presumably has got like a regular job, right? And he probably can't just rely on income from his art. He probably just does it as a little side hustle. So if you've got like the fucking trans Eye of Sauron bearing down on you, and there's possibilities they're going to be like contacting your work and contacting your job and stuff like that, which is absolutely something that is promoted within the trans community, you know? As much as they freak the fuck out about Kiwi farms and stuff like that, it's like they openly support contacting and communicating with employers and stuff like that to try and get people to lose their job, you know? Like, think about, like, what is it? Remember the old Antifa accounts? The old Antifa accounts that would be like, oh, we found out this guy's a far-right person. Here's their name and here's their details and here's where they work and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, A-log is 1,000 times what? Yes, absolutely. Like, I am certain that these people wouldn't think twice about trying to find out where this guy works and then trying to contact his employer to get him fired. So I think I've come to agree more so with the idea that, yeah, it's totally reasonable that he'd want to, you know, delete his account and stuff like that. Because for me, the only thing I'm at risk of is I say something on stream that is bannable, but then that's really on my shoulders because I fucked up by saying something that can get me banned. But if you've got like a normal job, you don't have that same level. Like, you can't just email Twitch and say, oh, this guy was being transphobic on Twitter. Generally speaking, you can't get banned for that. With a place of work, you can just kick up enough of a fuss at the company enough, and the company will likely fold, and they'll likely just fucking ban them, you know? So, yeah, I just think it's... I mean, I'd still like to talk to him and hear from him and, you know, have a chat and stuff and whatnot. Also, I'd like to commission him to do a piece of me. I feel a bit gutted that I never got my my Just a Worm artwork. But anyway, in any case, I do agree, do understand. Probably the bright move to kind of disappear if you've got that level of attention and pressure when you've got like a normal job, right?
now, there has been people who have looked into this individual's post history, and some of it has been on Kiwi farms, and I had no idea of any of these kind of postings. Again, my relation to this was strictly professional and transactional. I hired somebody to make art, and that art seemed to work off, because in this situation, Keffals had actually responded to this piece of art with...
Good. No, it's good. That's... Okay. I personally would have liked it if Mutahar had said, do you know what? What he said on Kiwi Farms was based and true. Obviously, you can't do that. I think that's a good way of just addressing it and touching on it, but kind of that's not really to do with him. His post history wasn't relevant decision in whether or not he took him on there for the artwork. It was literally just, here's $100. Please draw this for me. Boom. There we go.
With some pretty shitty criticism. Watch this. As soon as I released this video, Keffals' response to this was, I understand people have criticisms of me. I don't think that I'm above being critiqued. That said, was it really necessary to use a transphobic caricature of me in the thumbnail while also not using my pronouns in the video announcement? Now, the pronouns were kind of shocking because basic English would teach me that I used her, and if anything, I used they. Now, just to delineate from the pronoun point, I have to ask the question, if my video is focusing on actual serious, like, mentions of monetary mishandling of GoFundMe money or charity money, why is that not addressed in this initial response, but actually...
Yeah, exactly, DK. Exactly, yeah. What does it matter? Someone could be the most egregious person going, right? But if you just give in the money for a service and they provide the service, well, that's your transaction done. You're not looking, if you go and buy something, you don't go and look into the history of the person you're transacting with. You literally just pay the money for something and boom, off you go, Yeah, exactly, DK. Yes, exactly what I was thinking. I'm sick of having to look at my cashier at the local supermarket to see if they've ever been on kiwi farms before I buy my eggs. What does it matter? Literally fucking irrelevant. You do, well, these people never go outside and they're fucking bed blobs, to be honest, but you engage with how many transactions do you engage with in, say, a week, right? How many financial transactions, be it buying a fucking pack of gum all the way through to, purchasing a computer or something. You're not going and looking into and figuring out what their history is and what they've done here and what they've done there. Oh, have you ever posted anything controversial on the internet before I buy this computer from you, please? It's complete cope. And again, another way of distracting from the material and the content that's in the fucking video.
The thumbnail, which I guess is apparently allegedly this transphobic caricature, which it's not, and then the misuse of pronouns, which, by the way, people had found out, no, I actually used all the right ones. It's like, why are we not addressing the actual serious elephants in the room? Why are we just deviating to the most nonsense points? And what makes this an even more confusing issue is the fact that she also used the same art on her own videos in her own thumbnails. So,
yo! Let's go! He's getting all the fucking points in. That is well played. Damn. Bro. Oh, if you got a link to the Bo Blacks thing, I'll have a look at it in a bit. Dude, this is a very thorough, clear response. And I just, after this, what have they got left? What arguments have they got left? Apart from repeating the same ones that have been well debunked. It is a complete and total... I was going to say a slur then, but I've got to be careful. Indian guy win. Okay, let's put it like that.
So all of a sudden when I use it, the guy is producing transphobic caricatures, but when you're using it, it's suddenly okay. The whole point of the art was to make the subject look disheveled. That's about...
Oh, by the way, okay, you have to take my word for this because I don't have it to hand, okay? But basically, I saw someone say, oh, well, that's not an argument because Keffals obviously didn't check the guy's background before using that art. Wait, so at the time, Keffals can use that and you say nothing about it and you don't complain about the fact that they've used this person's art. But then when Mutahar does it, he's got to do a full fucking criminal records bureau check on the guy to make sure that he definitely has never posted anything transphobic online. You have to take my word for it. And I saw it, I think it was on Reddit. But yeah, like, the point is the arguments to this are just insane. Just insane hypocrisies, insane retardation. There is no argument against it, okay? It's obvious this is concerned trolling to distract from the video, and that's it. End of conversation. Thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it.
it. That's as deep as it actually goes. Now, one of the reasons for me making a video about Keffals in the first place was, you gotta understand, as somebody that covers internet stuff in general, on my internet content dartboard, there's plenty of topics that exist, okay? This just happened to be the most controversial one. Now, Keffals is an individual that had basically garnered a lot of attention for the last 2 years, and their story is quite complicated, to the point that nobody really was able to discuss it in the best faith possible. It was a situation where we had to amalgamate a lot of the information over the course of months in order to build a video that could actually be, something that would be viewed by somebody that had no idea of the situation anyways, and they could come to an actual proper conclusion themselves. The one piece of controversy...
Yeah, I think that, I do agree that it's, years, in the grand scheme of things, obviously years late. Like, stuff like this should have happened ages ago, right? But if you go and look at the thread, it is very clear that there's a lot of information there. And people will point to like the Destiny Manifesto, which, was really good, and I covered it at the time. But I think, if I recall correctly, I don't even know if the Destiny Manifesto went into the Catboy Ranch stuff. I think I remember that getting dropped out of it because it was too complex and in-depth to look into to present in a way that was reasonable, right? Is that what happened? But this video included that as well. Like I think it's everything that is of merit to, I mean, it doesn't have the fart porn, okay, right? Which obviously people talk about a lot.
Okay, that's
being a thing, but then that just diminishes from the video because what has that got to do with the fraudulent behavior? Thank you for the $5. Yeah, it's like the one thing, like now, if someone said to you, oh, who's this Keffals person? I keep hearing about them, right? Go and watch Mutahar's video. That explains everything that you need to know to understand the worst of it end to end in a succinct time frame as possible, But yeah.
That I feel is probably the best deserved is my actual failure here to reach out to one of the people that I brought into the story as well. Now, this is Femgirl VR, one of the people that I had brought into the Catboy Ranch segment of the video. Now, in this entire section, I basically had... The only reason I'm making this is because the actual person did come out and say that they didn't appreciate me low-key implying that they were groomed in any capacity. Now, I'm going to go back and fall into the original video that I made and basically...
I mean, I don't think you need to reach out necessarily, but I think that conceding you should have is fine. I mean, it doesn't really change the video. It doesn't really change the video. It doesn't really make any difference. But just saying, I probably should have reached out. It's like, because then you can do the thing when it's like, I probably should have reached out, but what does that change? Like, okay, so you've got one small piece of criticism against the video that I will even accept. I maybe should have reached out, but it doesn't change anything else. It doesn't change the nature of the interactions being inappropriate. It doesn't change the GoFundMe. It doesn't change the broader Catboy Ranch stuff. It doesn't change the DIY HRT.
State that I have in no way basically said that the entire interaction between the Catboy Ranch account or her was implicative or actually definitive of anything grooming related. In fact, a portion of my video was even dedicated to talking about false grooming allegations being used to paint this community, the trans community in specific.
1 month of membership, MFSB named Keffals, and meanwhile it's just one broad, Justin Wang.
Thank you, Nick M, for the sub. When is Justin Wang? When is Justin Wang going to issue a correction on the broad... Okay.
Anything grooming related. In fact, a portion of my video was even dedicated to talking about false grooming allegations being used to paint this community, the trans community in specific, as a toxic or an evil community in general. And that is a problem. That is something that does happen. But in this situation, my whole point was to showcase an entire chain of events. If you have an adult-oriented board, you shouldn't be interacting with anybody who at the time is a minor like this. Now, obviously, I'm not here to look at this person and say, shut up, you're wrong. That's not necessarily the case. This is actually well-deserved criticism, and next time, it is worth it to go out and get the message from everyone. Or again, I guess, put out an entire warning in the video, both visual, maybe even auditory, to remind them that this is not implicative of something that is a serious crime. I would never outright say that somebody would be grooming somebody. That is a very serious...
To be honest with you, I think this is to me this is excessive.
Here the Docspin admin supposedly got kidnapped. It might be a gay op, but it's a thing.
Oh yeah, I'll throw that up at the end of this. Someone linked it to the other day. Could someone link it again? And we'll throw it up after this. Yeah, this is over egging the pudding for me. I think what it does though, it just create this idea of like, okay, you're conceding a small point, and then they can't say anything else, can they? You know, like, okay, yeah, if I should have reached out, so be it, right? Well, what else can you say about it? But for me, I don't think this is necessary. I think it's totally fine to report on tweets that are public and discuss it without even speaking to anyone involved, right? Because the tweets are there, right? And they're indicative of something that happened at a given time that you can talk about.
Serious allegation. And while there are channels that are pretty laissez-faire with how they put the whole groomer tag on people, this is not something I do on this channel. That whole section of the video is to showcase that the interaction between an adult and minor is not right. Had I interacted with somebody like this in my comment section, this would be called out by any other channel in the same way. And it's just not professional behavior. And that's where it was kind of leading up to. And to talk about the separation between under 18 accounts and over 18 accounts and so on and so forth. There is no grooming, and I have made no allegation thereof, and that would be pretty wild to make an allegation of in the first place. It is entirely meant to showcase a interaction that should not have ever taken place to begin with, between anybody over the age of 18, well into their 20s, and somebody who is not yet a legal adult. All right, so some boards over here is like Muta's wife claims that accusations of neo-Nazism are baseless. So again, my...
Okay. You wanted to send this? Oh my god. When you see stuff like that, it's just, it makes it all the funnier, doesn't it, eh? All the sweeter. Trying to do the Walter White meme. Literally Walter White. Shocking. Shocking.
Wife, Jen, she actually liked a few posts of people, sarcastically saying, wow, I guess you must be the best Nazi in the room, being with Muta, an Indian guy, for crying out loud, okay? And of course, in this situation, some of the craziest comments that I read was, the cognitive dissonance of a Nazi being in an interracial relationship, LMAO.
What the fuck, dude?
Smartest rightoid couple. Most...
Bro, these people are deranged. They're mentally, racially deranged. This is just the classic, we're back in fucking 20 whenever. God, everyone's a Nazi. Everyone on the right of me is a Nazi. Guess the subreddit. I'm going to give you one guess. YouTube drama? Is that what it is?
White supremacists do, either from fetishism or a superiority complex. You'd be surprised to know that there are some neo-Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. People say it's because she's a far-right Nazi, okay? But the truth of it is because she needs help with her computer a lot. That's why they do it.
Nazis or supremacists who refine with being in interracial relationships because they view their spouses as one of the good ones, or view their relationships as replacing the race genes with white people if they have offsprings.
Who are fine with being because they view their spouse as one of the good ones. Where do these people get these ideas from? I swear it's just like other leftoids say it and they repeat it. Because where would you get this from? This idea that, oh yeah, actually neo-Nazis think that their spouse is one of the good ones. That's not how it works, no. You could argue that they might do a kind of like, oh, there's a black guy in your neo-Nazi org. He's one of the good ones or something like that, maybe. But not to be in like an intimate relationship with, right? Because if you are a white supremacist or a far-right person, generally speaking, you're going to see that your race is the, we're not even superior necessarily in some parts of the ideology, but just that your race is what you want to retain. And so therefore, you're going to have sex with people who are also the same race so that you can have a purebred relationship your genes, your white genes, their white genes, boom, you have a white baby, right? Any addition, what's it called? The one drop rule. Any addition of another race into that creates a, I'm trying not to use racial terminology, mutt. Is that racist? But there's fucking Wojaks of this and stuff. I know it's like a meme, but like the meme speaks to a truth, which is that if you have a kid with a black person as a white person, you are creating an abomination from their perspective, not mine. I'm not racist, right? I'm not saying I personally believe that. I'm saying they believe that, okay? Although obviously, you know, I've got white kids. Okay, come on.
Which is kind of such an insane thing to read because we take shit from crazy individuals on the other extreme end all the time. You know how many motherfuckers exist that post memes of like, you know, just not us directly, but like a white couple and like a brown couple and like, you know, absolutely like, you know, I guess you could say deformed children, so to speak, implying.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Oh my God, yes, that is exactly it. I was just saying this. Let's go.
That our genetics are going to deform kids. It's an insane insinuation to bring up. And it's like, you know, you read comments like this and you think to yourself, man, these people are fucking insane. There is no criticism of the actual video. In fact, if anything, they just jump to the most insane shit. Now, don't worry, Jen was absolutely defending herself, as she should, on the internet against some of the craziest people out there. And if she does partake in some crazy jokes, I'll be the first one to tell you, we are an anti-Nazi household. I have spent my entire career crapping on Nazis. If you were a follower of my content versus somebody that pretended to be, you would realize that anytime we were even on deep web browsing, anytime I would come across racist websites, I would absolutely shut them down by making fun of them. Because that's what you do with insane Nazis.
Okay, dude, I can't. Oh my God, dude. I can't. It's too much for me, man. I think it's okay. Here's the thing. I think coming from Twitch poll and stuff, I think it gives you a different perspective on it because you're so used to hearing all of the anti-Nazi shit that when you just hear people say Nazis bad, you kind of are like, oh, here we go again. Nazis bad. You remember that tweet that the Quartering did? And there it is, yikes, talking about Hitler being bad or something. Oh, okay.
You make fun of them and you shut them down in front of the world, okay? You don't replicate or bring their beliefs, you shit on them outright. Now, I'm going to do a little thing that I don't normally do, and I'm going to read a whole comment from start to finish, just to bring up how brain dead the discourse was around this video. Again, nothing to do with that video. Here, I'm going to read. I have to blur out the name just because the stupid branch is real. Though alt-rightoids ideologically err in marrying non-Aryans like Semites, Latinx, and Sub-Saharan Africans, Muta and her are a fairly Aryan couple, and I believe Hitler would approve.
Is this from YouTube drama? What the fuck is this? They think that Hitler would approve of their relationship. You think it's got to be a psyop? Well, we could probably go and look at their post history and see. But yeah. Actually, Chud, many racists are married to ethnics. Gen Z calling Bill Burr a racist. Bill Burr and his beautiful wife, Nia. While I'm not suggesting Bill Burr is a racist, a white man having a non-white wife can sometimes be a sign of racism. So you shouldn't assume someone isn't racist just because they're a minority sex servant. That's a troll, man. Clayburn Griffin, isn't this a troll account? They may very well have one because they're racist. That's got to be a troll, dude. Come on. There's no way. Minority sex servant. Oh my God. Oh, is that real? I don't know. I can't. Dude, it is. First of all, it's impossible to say with Poe's law being what it is. But also, the people that are liking it might not think that it's a troll and might agree with the sentiment regardless.
Crash course on race theory follows. Amateur racists always screw up on this because they're culturally appropriating terms from noble German racism into vulgar American racism.
Amateur racists. This has got to be a troll, dude. Because amateur racists suggest the existence of professional racists. Who's going pro? We're going pro, guys. Our stream is going pro. We're going pro level. We're going to hit fucking platinum tier racist.
AKA white is good, everything else is bad. Blonde hair and blue eyes are Nordic Aryans. Jen does not have blue eyes, by the way. But among the Aryans, we have diversity, our strength. Krish, Rasant, I'm not even going to pretend. Half of you guys mess up Indian words. Whatever. Require you to understand PIY and the Aryan migrations. Some Afghanis, English, Celts, Iranians. Iran comes from Aryan, by the way. Japanese honorary, and plenty of other brown hair, brown-eyed, even darker-skinned people, like Italians, are Aryans. Muda is part Aryan because Brahmins are upper caste Indians. Which is funny because I'm pretty sure I've told people that I am Muslim, not in the Hindu section. Again, it shows you the level of racism from this jackass, where he assumes just because I'm from India, I am suddenly Hindu all of a sudden. Maybe look up the country first, okay? But anyways, the Indians come from Indo-Aryan people that derive. Arya is Sanskrit for noble. Though the NSDAP stance on this was Indians have intermixed too much to be pure Aryans. They nonetheless have Aryan blood.
Where is this? Is this even true? Where is this coming from? This sounds like some crazy esoteric race shit that like Richard Spencer would be into or something. What the fuck? But is that true? You say it's not true. Is it true? It is esoteric Hyperborean shit, right? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I get, yeah. Yeah, this is stuff that, like, well, that part's correct then, I guess. The amateur racist is not going to know. But, like, 99.9% of people are not going to fucking think of it along these terms, okay? When you say Aryan to people, those that are going to know what the term means, in the vast majority of cases, are going to think blonde hair, blue eyes. That's how we use it. That's how it's been used, okay? When you look at fucking Nazi videos, the older Nazi videos of all the Germans prancing about, it's not a bunch of fucking Indians there, is it? It's fucking Germans with blonde hair and blue eyes and the fucking Nazi youth and shit like that. So it's just complete cope to act further like there's actually a point to this. Thank you for the $2. This comes from the SSRI demons in the person's brain, okay? Yeah. I want to see the original post. Can anyone link it? And then we'll look at their post history and we'll investigate and see.
So while they may be an interracial couple, Dojangles married Muta because of his Aryan ancestry. This is proven when she talks about the 23andMe test she had him do before dating. Now, I want somebody to... This is like an example. This is a very serious claim. Please find a timestamp of her claiming anywhere in a tweet that she made me do a 23andMe test. I've never fucking done it. I've never given up my genetic data, and neither is she to Google or anyone. You know what the fuck my genetic history would probably be? 99.9% Indian boy. What the Now, where she found Vedic Aryan blood in him, i.e. founder Aryan, her explication of this means she follows NSDAP racialism, obviously a cultured woman. Indians such as Muta were...
Wait, what is this? Uh-oh. What is this? Oh, no. No. Average Indian store. Yeah, this is probably one of those stores in India where they're so retarded they don't know what it means. So they just like are like, oh, Hitler fashion, you know? Rape blinds. Although that would probably actually, you know, kind of fit, wouldn't it?
Immensely desirable in the Third Reich. Oh, God damn! Well, this is why I don't take Reddit seriously, okay? Because this is what happens when you stay unemployed too fucking long. You start doing shit like this. Oh man, I needed that, dude. I swear to God. There hasn't been a goddamn comedy special that's been this fucking funny for a goddamn while, dude. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Now, I didn't expect the video to be making some crazy waves.
Yeah, does anyone have the link to that post? I saw it floating about on Twitter, but I don't know if there's a link or where it's from. I want to go and look at the person's post history. Because if they're posting on a bunch of lefty boards saying crazy shit, then they're probably not a psyop. But it could be a psyop. It could be some fucking, you know, retard saying crazy shit. It was deleted. It got deleted. What? Who deleted it?
Waves, but it actually did in the sense that one of the larger publications, TYT, which I guess is mainstream enough to be showing up in Google News recommendations, ended up using portions of my video as a correction for their own actual reporting. And they even called on other actual, like, big publications to offer retractions. Now, I haven't seen this, so I don't know what the effort of this, what they have said entirely in this 18-minute piece. But to understand, this is a story that when I covered, I like to look at the facts of a situation, right? Beyond all of the crazy controversies, there is truth that hides in these videos. And I'm not here to get a response out of anybody or whatnot. What I am here is to lay out the truth. And it took me 1 hour and 33 minutes to do so, and I feel like I did a good enough job. Now, for any other organization or journalist group out there that ran with the Drop Kiwi Farm story without understanding all of the facts, should offer some form of retractions. And we did put our utmost research into covering the story, because at the end of the day, okay?
Okay. Can Mutahar get a new fucking chair? He must be making money hand over fist. What, she first sending it all back to fucking India in a dowry or something? Buy a new chair, bro! Why is it so squeaky? Come on!
I have had my own mistakes. I have made mistakes in coverage in the past. And mistakes, they happen. You know, it's a human situation. But when covering a story, some of you may remember when I covered Ethan Klein, and I made a big blunder. And ever since then, it takes a lot to basically pass through the editing shelf. There will be mistakes, and who knows, in the future you may have to issue a retraction from even here. But when covering these kind of stories, it's about objectivity and it's about reaching for the facts. And that's one of the things that we really do aim for on this channel. Now, and beyond all of this too, there were other people in this community, the trans community, that came out and did talk about this as well. For instance, one individual known as Star Oxvia actually made a long thread discussing
literally every
another
point.
angle of the financial kerfuffle that Keffals had with the GoFundMe money. And that's kind of what this whole situation boils back down to. Look, at the end of the day, there was some controversy in this situation. But
dude, this is literally every single fucking point that has been brought up, every base, even chucking in there, well, a trans person has done this. Yeah, this is a great response. Yeah. I think I said previously that, like, not reaching out to that person means it's not like 100% watertight, right? Because then there's something that someone can point to. But now, I mean, yeah, it's watertight. But with this video as well, the whole thing is fucking watertight. What possible response can you have to this now? He's covered it all. And he's even saying, look, here's a trans person that agrees with me. Okay. What is this? Oh, I think I remember this. Yeah, this is the profile picture I remember. What is this? Post karma, comment karma. Ooh. This could be a troll. Look at the account setup date, March 7th, 2024. Yeah, this is a troll, I think. In Germany, we have a saying, if there's a Nazi at the table and 10 other people sitting there talking to him, you got a table with 11 Nazis. Now imagine if you're married to one. Randomly posting responses to this Seattle thread. Something to do with 4chan. Advanced race theory abbreviates to art. A fine art. I am an artist. Come on, dude. There's no way. Go back up. Horseshack rap test. That sounds made up. It's a Rorschach test, isn't it? This is the Voigtcom. Is it, what's it called? Like, this is playing on the Blade Runner thing, but with a kind of bastardized name of other psychological tests, right? A typical psychometric evaluation. I'm simply outlining a number of social situations. You are to express your reaction to each as accurately as possible. You see a face on a milk carton. Whose is it? After an incident, you were transferred to another college. What was the incident and why did you deserve it? You were attending a group circle for traumatic psychotherapy. One speaker says she has stopped at an alleyway bakery. She peruses only which anger him. He forces her to take a sweet honey pie. How did it taste? Well, oh, dude, he's a troll. Okay, this guy's a troll. Good troll. A good troll that makes you kind of question it, but he's definitely a troll. After school, a student enters a car. Where is her mother? This guy's brilliant, yeah. Dude. That got removed. Oh, that's the post that got removed, I guess, that we were talking about, right? Sociogenomic factors. Dragon's Dogma. Wait. He's posted on Dragon's Dogma fucking Reddit. What the fuck? Oh my god. This is so random. And then the true unpopular opinion. Okay. What is this? What is this post? One of the biggest harms of Reddit is how it creates a nerdy atmosphere which glorifies rationality, scientism, and debate-like rhetoric, while catering to sloth content consumption and shallow, meaningless discussion. Wait! Who let this guy cook? Bro. That's actually true. That's actually true. Not only is Reddit a culture molded by and for a community of brain-dead pop culture consumers, but its entire voting system design optimized the process of filtering any discourse that challenges anything beyond safe status quo opinions while uplifting the most hackneyed adolescent dork humor. I have not disagreed with this post once yet. At any given point, a Reddit comment section's highest upvoted user will even have delivered a tiring quip, hackneyed pun, or vapid performative platitude. One of many proofs that democracy is not just a mistake, but a delusion. This is fucking based. The small-souled bugman Redditor is the scum of the earth. The collective platforming of a society's most pathetic, spineless dweebs has been the internet's biggest mistake. The most quintessential Redditor is defined by a group of slovenly gnome-like rejects who have been broken down by some implicit feminine authority and taught to crawl around on their knees, begging for approval, while they whimper out safe opinions in some faux declaration as if they shook the world, fighting a made-up straw man in their head in some Joss Whedon-esque rebellion. This guy is absolutely roasting. This delusional grandstanding made so much more pathetic by the fact that their entire belief system was crafted by corporations and state agencies. The influx of power moderators. Is this a copy pasta? I've never seen this before. I've not seen all copy pastas, admittedly. But, I mean, I don't know. If there's copy pasta, it's a good one. The influx of power moderators taking over boards one by one through sodomite Discord Guna entryism. Sodomite Discord Guna entryism. Bro, this guy is on another fucking level. And turning the entire website into a dystopian lockdown of deleted posts, locked down comment systems, and closed off private boards in response to rapidly shifting, insane, nonsense ideological programming isn't even the real core issue. Reddit's state as a woke ground zero nuclear shithole isn't the cause. It was an outcome made inevitable by their initial user base and design. Reddit and the Redditor are more noble stereotypes of real users. They have surpassed into archetypes, representing everything which is wrong online. The Redditor is the Satan of the network. It is an all-consuming abstract of soulless materialism, occupying status as the vilified within the digital pantheon. Any form of spiritual belief system categorizes the implicit features of reality into figureheads, and all negative aspects of life tend to pull towards some singular anti-being. A collective shit heap where everything that isn't good and shouldn't be are piled into a symbolic devil to exist in juxtaposition against life. The Redditor is a flurry of contradictions existing in an almost occult subversion of how it presents itself. The Redditor is neurotic, anxious, depressed, and suicidal, but will give grand speeches on caring about mental health. The Redditor is hateful, bitter, insecure, and vindictive, but will preach on valuing love. Wait, what? Metal Gear Solid? Yes, true. Metal Gear Solid 2 codec call. Is there an AI version of the Colonel's voice at the end of Metal Gear Solid 2 when he's got the kind of like robotic tone when it's realizing it's you should realize it's an AI? You should have it run through this, dude. The Redditor is censuring, scarce, limiting, and silencing, but will speak of tolerance and Socratic discourse. The Redditor is weak, cowardly, timid, and nervous, but will scream insults and threaten violence against people committing wrongthink. The Redditor, Raiden, turn off Reddit now! That's it, isn't it? But will scream insults and threaten violence against people committing wrongthink. The Redditor is secular, heretical, shallow, and dismissive of God, yet will act in unquestioning faith towards material scientism. But worst of all, the Redditor is stupid. The Redditor is an ignorant buffoon who has been taught to speak in a tone of pretentious academic authority on meaningless subjects, with absolutely zero actual context on the merit of his statements, yet pedestals intellectualism as pinnacle of being. This is the suffering of the Redditor. He is a Redditor who has had his mask ripped from his face as he looked into the mirror and has been shown his true nature. He lives on the infinite misery contained in the briefest glimpse of understanding. As he is giving chiding lectures intended to cope on his behalf, he is too stupid to be aware that the peers who deliver these words are exactly like him. Dude, this guy's based. Absolutely based, honestly. Absolutely nailed Reddit. I can't read all of this, dude. Oh, wait, no. Dude, is it a copy pasta? He's used it here again, or has he made it as a copy pasta? Thanks for inventing VR. I met my e-wife on Oculus. She's AI generated. That got removed. Anyway, fucking hell, man. Anyway, I'll link the account if you want to look, see if there's any more gems in there. Okay, yeah. I'll post it in Discord and post it in chat. I'll post the thing and just scroll down. It's in my inbox. Damn, this guy's kind of based. Funny troll. Funny troll. Total Mars Rovey victory, honestly, I must say. I'm sure there's more good memes in there.
Looking into the whole Keffals' story in regards to the GoFundMe, a GoFundMe that is still active to this day, by the way. This is a GoFundMe that you can still donate to. In fact, right now, you can still see that Muta donated $5 8 days ago, okay? So to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those situations where if you are somebody that has felt that you donated to this and you feel that this fundraiser actually is, there is some malfeasance behind it, which seems to be a pretty strong case ever since I've covered it and plenty of other people have covered it, then it's one that I would recommend if you have donated to and you do feel wrong, you can always report. And that might be the best possible case out there. And now I guess it's time to end this video with just the
Oh my god, dude! Sorry, I missed it. Who donated after this? Wait, what?
Situation boils back down to. Look, at the end of the day, there was some controversy in this situation, but looking into the whole Keffals' story, by the way, this is a GoFundMe that you can still donate to. In fact,
Wait, what? Food shops yum yums. Nah, that can't be. There's got to be a mistake or a misunderstanding or something else. You said this days ago, oh, did you? Well, I think the thing is if you donate to it, it's obviously don't do this because, well, do what you want, okay? But I guess if you donate to it, you're then eligible to file a complaint because you've given money to the cause, right? Yeah. You can only report if you donate. So what the play would be, donate like $1 and then report the thing. I just think at this stage, with everything being what it is, especially with the Wikipedia page getting updated, a correction getting issued, maybe more, I'm skeptical. Something's got to be done here. Like, you can't just get away with getting this, running away with the money like this. Surely you've got to be able to, yeah, GoFundMe's got to be pushed to take action. Because they've facilitated what is very likely embezzlement and fraud and shit, right? The only way it's not that is if Keffals can provide full and transparent financial records that demonstrate what's happened with the money, Because remember, they claimed they were going to put it in a legal fund, right? A legal fund is a very specific thing that you put money into that you can't touch, and then it only is ever used for legal things, and that never happened. Yeah, I agree. It does. Yeah. The thing is, I don't know how to make that happen. I've got no connection to the press in that way to know what I would do to even. Do you know what I mean? Like, how would you? Who are the journalists that really covered for Keffals? Ben Collins, Nathan Grayson. Those are the big two names. And then other than that, it's just kind of normal press orgs writing stories from random journo, probably just for filler for the day. Jesse Single has been on this already, hasn't he? I'm pretty sure Jesse Single tweeted and said, is there anyone that is going to actually do the right thing? The problem with Jesse is he is already a kind of like negatively perceived journalist, isn't he?
in fact, right now, you can still see that Muta donated $5 8 days ago, okay? So to understand, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those situations where if you are somebody that has felt that you donated to this and you feel that this fundraiser actually is, there is some malfeasance behind it, which seems to be a pretty strong case ever since I've covered it and plenty of other people have covered it, then it's one that I would recommend if you have donated to and you do feel wrong, you can always report. And that might be the best possible case out there. Now, I guess it's time to end this video with just the final closing thoughts. I never have ill will towards anybody that I ever cover in a video, okay?
Protections for an entire year. Donations of any amount are covered for 1 year after you donate. But the thing is, there shouldn't be any time limit on flagging up that, because potentially fraud could not be demonstrated until years after. So, because otherwise you would just say, oh, I'm going to get something done in 2 years and then get all the money. And then it's 2 years later and no one can do anything about it. That probably just means that you can get refunded within a year. But after a year, you don't get the money back. Because otherwise, well, that'd be stupid. Yeah, I just think it's correct. You absolutely have got to go and report it. If you've donated and you feel... So, yeah, go and report it. It's undeniable that's the right move.
I think generally most people can reform and do the right thing, provided they haven't broken some crime that, it's hard to come back from. I think people like Keffals, you know, if they refunded their money and truly apologized to the community that they represent, the trans community, then all can basically turn around and turn their life into the better, okay? But at the end of all this, right, one of the big key concerns that I have is financial
The thing is,
malfeasance.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that angle at all, because at this point, the only reason Keffals would be doing it would be purely to, you know, like it's the last possible opportunity at which they could actually say something, you know? So I think the absolute best case scenario is Keffals comes clean about it. But I mean, I would be surprised if there wasn't some legal consequence for this. It seems insane to me that, like, you can do this and there'd be no legal case to answer to, because it's such an insane thing that's happened, bro. 100K. But then, you know, if you've done something that bad, you know, you got to account for it, right? Remember at the end of 7, when the Kevin Spacey walks into the police station. Not the first time, not the last time Kevin Spacey was in a police station. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you've got to own up to it, haven't you?
You know, people that I talk to in this situation that constantly bring up things like, you know, Muta, this is just drama. Are you covering this because you're a drama channel or something? It's funny
What's in
because
the
the people that I cover,
box?
who are my friends in the space, right? Or used to be. You know, people like the completionist is just one example. You know, he'll tell me in a call, Muta, I love your content. You know, I love when you cover stuff like Logan Paul and whatnot, or like you cover actual scams. And the moment my cross
Yeah, sorry. So basically, own up to it. This is what happened. 100K, all of it, whatever you want to fucking own up to. And then, you know, that people are probably not going to want to support you any further. And you'll end up with like a kind of small portion of people that might be willing to watch some of your gaming streams from time to time. But yeah, I just think that there's some situations where you do such an egregious act. That's got to be it, right? Like the trust is gone at that stage, particularly with money and soliciting money for things that you don't then spend it on. But yeah, anyway, it's all over. It's all over for Keffals. I disagree with this idea that they can redeem themselves. I don't think it's possible at this stage.
crosshairs turn to them, then I'm a fucking drama channel. Then I'm just like, ooh, TMZ. Even though that we're bringing like actual facts, receipts, interviews, we're doing the best that we can in this situation. These are things that I want to address, and with people like Keffals, I wish the actual criticism was strong. I wish people could criticize the actual video versus...
Anyway, sorry, yeah, Jesse Single did... Look, are any of the journalists who helped this person steal from her young, gullible audience going to revisit this story or express an ounce of contrition over their role in this? Yep. Yep. Oh, hey, Adam Etheridge. Keffals supporters are all still allegedly getting mentally disturbingly insane, just like the fake woke pure evil, fake ass Tom Dyer shippers. Oh wow, Mutahar got wrongfully called out. I unbanned everyone on the channel about a month ago. So Adam's back, guys. Adam is a schizo that constantly posts about Tom Holland and that fucking woman that was in Dune that no one likes.
delineating it to a thumbnail or, you know, allegations of my significant other being a neo-Nazi, which are completely unfounded, okay? It's just...
Aren't some people just... I mean, sure. Some people are going to say she was an addict. But do you know who else was an addict? Do you know who else was an addict? Slicker. Slicker was a gambling addict, right? Does that mean that he doesn't have to account? And, you know, I mean, he was lucky that his big fucking streamer pals were willing to pay... Well, not really pals, but, you know, people were willing to band together to actually give people their money back that he'd taken money from. But in any case, yeah, you know, obviously his career received a big diminishment because of that. So, you know, the addict thing is irrelevant, right? Yeah, someone could be an addict, but they can still do bad things they need to account for, right? It's not like a police will arrest someone that's just robbed a fucking grandmother's purse and they go, oh, I'm an addict. Oh, in that case, sorry, sir, I didn't realize you would have such... Back you go onto the street, unless you're in New York or LA. Unless you're in New York and LA, you're not going to get just let back into the street because you happen to be an addict when you've committed something bad, right?
hilariously dumb. But again, to situations like this, I think the real...
Edgar, Edgar's got a good point here. Hitler was addicted to amphetamine. You don't see people excusing his behavior. True.
Harm, and the real implication is this isn't drama to me. This is something where actual money and actual harm is caused. Now, the money that in this situation, $101,343, which may or may not be appropriated properly, this is something that needs to be addressed. And for a community of people, the trans community specifically, where resources don't grow on a tree, okay? There's not like a, here's your $1 million check, go ahead. There are people in this community that suffer from homelessness, ostracization from their communities, their families,
wonderful.
sometimes their friends, people who going home.
Most consistent commentary channel and great leadership for the younger commentators. Shout out to your hilarious and active chat. Rise and grind.
Thank you for the $20. Yes, true. I'm very based. I agree. Thank you very much for the $20. Appreciate you.
Homeless can absolutely ruin the rest of their lives or a good chunk of their life if they don't have the right resources and the right people there at the right time to assist them at their lowest. This kind of money can be life-changing for a whole group of activisms, for a whole slew of activism, or to actually get people on their feet.
ChudLogic is straight.
Keffals has
Thank
misappropriated this money
you.
as far as what we've seen, what we believe to have seen, and it's money that could be used for much better reasons or much better cases. And while I don't care if she responds to me, I don't give a shit about any of that, I do believe she owes her community and the trans community some form of actual transparency in this situation. And maybe that'll come, maybe it won't. But ladies and gentlemen,
Doubtful.
yeah, Nuke dropped, and I wanted to talk about it because it has been one of my most controversial videos. It was actually something that I was a little bit worried releasing, but thankfully everything turned out to be pretty well and good. Now, honestly, after all of this, looking through my Reddit and looking through people talking about, I want kind of Muta that covers the deep web or haunted gaming back. And it's one of those things that I address. After covering this, it's not that I'm going to stop covering it. This kind of stuff really genuinely interests me and sparks my eyes, as some of you can tell. But I do feel after covering this, I need something on a Sunday that lightning rods my channel into one specific theme. And maybe it's time deep web browsing comes back for good on Sundays. Maybe we go from episode 200 all the way to episode 400. Because the internet is growing weirder by the minute. Or maybe it's time to actually go across and, cover things in the haunted gaming world again. You know, there's so many games that come out that are actually creepypasta oriented. Recently, I played a game, No Players Online, which I absolutely enjoyed, and I kind of would love to cover those, not from a Let's Play perspective, but maybe from the same perspective that I did the Keffals video, which is a video essayist perspective. It seems like the content does really well on my channel. And
anyway, I'm sure you guys know who Mutahar is, but, there we go. I thought it was a really good response. I wasn't really sure. I can understand, like, there is a lot of pressure sometimes and people do crack under the pressure of, like, these progressives, but, yeah. Decent response, really good response. Covered all the bases, covered all the key points. I think it just, adds an additional level of watertightness to the whole thing, really. Yeah, great stuff. Very good.